in this significant occasion of remembrance and reflection of Imam Hussein's sacrifice. With respect and gratitude, I kindly extend an invitation to Cassandra Fernando to join us on a stage and deliver her speech. Salawat bar Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I would like to start off by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet and pray today, and pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. My name is Cassandra Fernando, and I am the federal member for Holt. If you live in Hampton Park, Narrabri South, Lynbrook, Lyndhurst, all of Cranbourne, all of Clyde, going all the way down to Tordon, I am your federal member of Parliament. محرم and Ashura is a time to remember and reflect on the profound stance against injustice taken by Imam Hussein, a great man whose legacy continues to inspire millions around the world. When the corrupt and treacherous Yazid tried to seize Islam, Imam Hussein stood against great odds at the Battle of Karbala. At the battle, the Imam stood alongside and paid the ultimate price, trying to protect the ideals of Islam from corruption. His last words resonate throughout the ages. I would rather die a death of dignity than live a life of humiliation. Today, as we reflect on these sacrifices, we know how the legacy of his past affects the events of today. The events of the Battle of Karbala and the assassination of Ali at the Kufa Mosque continue to resonate, and today continues with the persecution of Shia Hazaras in Afghanistan. Every day I meet with countless people who live in my community who fear for the lives of their family, that if their family is sent back to the state controlled by a radical Islamist group, one not governed by the interest of all, but for the benefit of a certain group, they will be persecuted. When I was growing up, I saw my home torn apart by a 25-year-long civil war where neighbour turned on neighbour due to differences in language and religion. The struggles against injustice is ongoing. We have a responsibility to ensure everyone can live in safety. I will continue to use my platform to champion the Hazara cause and continue to call out persecution against your people. Because unlike others in Parliament, I will never forget the community that gave me the privilege of representing them. In words of Imam Hussein, do not be among those who are concerned about the sins of others, while neglectfully of their own sins. In Australia, we must strive for unity and solidarity, recognising that we are stronger as a nation when we stand united. The Labor Party has always championed the cause of justice and human rights. Our work transitioning temporary protection visas and sheikhs to permanent residency and our commitment to increasing the humanitarian visa intake to the highest level in 40 years shows our dedication to supporting those fleeing persecution. I know the conflict in Gaza has pained many in our community. It has broken my heart to wake up and see the images of dead children and women. However, we must be realistic on what the Australian government can achieve. The conflict will not be solved from the Parliament of Australia, but by working together with international partners in Jordan, Egypt and Europe, we can reduce the suffering of the Palestinian people, as demonstrated by the government's vote at the United Nations General Assembly. We are using Australia's voice to advocate for an immediate humanitarian ceasefire and a pathway of this conflict. Since day one, the Australian government has called for Israel to uphold international law and to abide by the rulings of the International Court of Justice. We have increased our humanitarian aid by 250% to Gaza, this year providing vital food and medical supplies to those in need. Beyond the immediate crisis, we need to break the cycle of violence and chart a pathway to a long-term peace in the region. The government has consistently been advocating to remove any barriers that stand in the way of a two-state solution. Long-term peace requires a Palestinian state existing side by side with Israel and offering the Palestinian people an opportunity to realize their aspirations. It has always stood for a two-state solution and justice. We will not play political games with the issue, but work step by step with the international community to hold everyone accountable and to justice. My focus continues to be here on the domestic front in reuniting families and helping to support them. I have been working hard to ensure that families can afford an access to medical care, education and services that they need. This includes expanding bulk billing, making free TAFE, making medicines cheaper, expanding paid parental leave, increasing rental assistance by 40%, getting wages moving again, providing energy relief and cutting taxes for every Australian. As the federal member for Holt, I am committed to representing your concerns in our parliament and to deliver the cost of living relief so nobody is left behind. Thank you to all the organisers for having me tonight, and thank you to all the volunteers and staff for making it possible. Can we take 1 minute of silence for those suffering injustice around the world and also in your home state? Thank you. I would like to say, like many of you before me, I too wasn't born in Australia. I came to Australia at the age of 11 and English was not my first language. I had a lot of trials, and just like many of you, I have family back home in Sri Lanka. And it's not easy when you have your family back home and you're here by yourselves. I just want you to know that I feel very blessed to be able to be your voice in federal parliament. And every day I thank God for two things, for the position that I hold and also for my family. Because God has put me here and I make sure that I will work as hard as I can for each and every one of you if you live in my electorate. And I also want to thank my beautiful staffers, Hafiz Jan, who's the Chief of Staff in my office, and also Naveed Jafari, who's another staff, I can't see him. But if you have any concerns, they are your voice in my office. So Hafiz is one of the most senior Hazaras that work in federal parliament. And he takes your voices and he tells me exactly what's happening to the people in the community. So I know most of you email me and I won't get back to you straight away, just emails, but I do get back to you eventually. But thank you for your patience, and may Allah bless all your family and each and every one of you. Thank you so much for having me tonight. God bless.